First thing, extremely proud of our group. We talked a couple times this week, and just the emotions early in the week were hard to handle for some guys and the coaches, and for us to rally and be able to compartmentalize that and get the work done that we needed to get done, focus on the improvement when we needed to do that, and then handle the emotions, when allowed. So extremely proud for how we came out. We talked on Sunday with the guys, right? We needed to execute so much better. Offense, defense, special teams weren't playing up to our standard, and to see them rally this week and get that done under the circumstances was huge.
Jim, is there any point this week where you thought the team had turned a corner, getting past those emotions, where you kind of felt like, okay, we're going to be all right? Do you feel that way at all?
Yeah, I would say kind of by the end of Tuesday, getting into Wednesday, you just felt the focus back, and you saw the look in their eyes. The ability to go and hit the practice field and focus on what we needed to. The intensity was there, right? The emotion was kind of back. It wasn't a flat group. We were emotional. We were, you saw the leaders leading, right? You saw the coaches stepping in when needed, and to me, it was kind of that. Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, saw a big shift in kind of where they were at mentally.
Jim, after the Illinois game, when you were talking about those pass interference calls, you said your players didn't handle the adversity, the swings of momentum. You take that first drive today, you get stalled, miss the field goal, but that didn't seem to affect this team. Any reason why you could pinpoint why it was different?
I mean, we talked it all week. There's going to be adversity, and you have to hang in there, right? We can't have one bad thing affect the entire team consistently, and that was happening for whatever reason. And to have some success and then miss a field goal and for guys to rally, it was huge. And just you saw the energy on the sideline consistently and the focus. A lot of guys into it. Had injuries, right, where you're bouncing around different personnel groupings on offense and different rotations on defense. And to see the looks around me was really impressive.
You mentioned this week that you told offensive coaches to figure out how to make the playmakers more dynamic. What did you see in that regard today? Do you feel like this is the kind of performance that can potentially carry forward the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think number one, balance, right? You can't allow teams to continually attack, right? You have to do something to slow them down and keep them on their heels. And obviously the right thing today was perimeter, right? Getting the ball on the edge, trust Graham to make great decisions, trust our receivers to beat coverage, and they were aggressive. And that might not always be the correct approach to it, but we have to play off of our passing game, right? Teams are going to stop the run. They are going to load the box and dedicate a lot of attention to our running backs and O-line, and we have to be able to balance that up a little bit, and I thought today was a great example of it.
Jim, you've been playing uphill on penalties and turnovers today. The opposite of that, is that about aggressiveness and composure in those moments?
Yeah, my challenge all week really was how can we execute, right? How well can we execute as a team? It hasn't been to our standard. Do it over and over again, and I think the guys bought into that. Do your job, and then the effort comes into play, right? I think we had some guys trying to do a little bit too much early, trying to just out-effort people rather than out-execute them, and just settle down, handle what you need to early, and yeah, then you turn it into another gear. And I thought our guys focused on that this week, and the execution was significantly higher, and the penalties didn't hurt us that much.
Yeah, what did the offensive coaches do with Jim DK today to get him open and do the different things that he did with a 10-catch day?
I think number one, you saw how aggressive their safeties were going to play, so had to take advantage of that with some of the spacing we were going to get. And Chim he's a dynamic player for this offense, and we needed to get him going. And obviously he was hot today, and him and Graham had a great connection.
You made some changes with your inside linebackers with Tatum and Jake out there today. What were you looking for when you made the switch?
Number one, injuries. The group that had been starting had not been healthy. Muma broke his hand, had surgery on his hand. He was going to be available, but it was just what's the right pitch count for him. And Jordan, same thing, kind of beat up throughout the course of the week and wasn't able to do much at practice. So we have a lot of confidence in that four. As you go back to fall camp and the competition and how close we continue to talk, really coming out of camp as well, how close that competition was. So we have a lot of trust in that top four, and I think Tate and Jake stepped in and did a great job for us today.
Jim, it's really hard to know what someone's thinking or feeling, but when you get off the bus today, we saw you get off the bus, what's going through your mind at that point? And a two-parter, is relief one of the things you're feeling right now, just to kind of move past this and go forward?
Yeah, to me, there was a lot more nerves throughout the week than there was today. Game day is game day. You know, I've been a part of a lot of these, and obviously not in this role, but this is a reward. You know, you put in the work, you put in the time, and you should have confidence when you step off that bus that you have the right plan, you have the right guys, you're going to put them in position to have success. So, you know, to me, when I woke up this morning, it was a great feeling. You know, there was a lot more nerves and just a lot more questioning. You know, certain situations and the communication, right? A lot changed, but game day is a different feel for me, and was excited that our guys came out and played as well as they did today. I know that's not always going to be the case. So to see how excited they were for me, just really can't speak on it.
Last 7 years as an assistant, I'm guessing a lot of those habits aren't just going to go away overnight. What was just kind of the toughest adjustment for you today, going from being in charge of the defense to being in charge of the entire program?
Number one, you're just always available, right? You're always available for the defense. You're always available for the coaches, and having to bounce back and forth and really trust the communication you had early to be able to step away. You know, we have a great support staff outside of our full-time coaches that was able to get me where I needed to go at times and make sure the communication with the coaches and players that I needed, you know, was happening. And you know, that to me is the biggest difference, was just having to bounce back and forth and handle situations. You know, luckily a lot of those close situations on what you're going to do, our offense executed, made first downs or touchdowns, big plays. So there was a number of situations we're having a lot of conversations on the headset. What's the right thing to do, right? Field goals, punts, go for it on fourth down. And then our offense was able to execute to handle those situations.
Jim, was that your call or Bobby's for him to work the sideline today? Because obviously that's a change from the first 5 games.
We just felt this week especially they needed to see his presence and be able to communicate a little bit easier with me and the guys. Whether that stays, we'll see. Obviously, having success in week one, probably the case. But you know, that was the biggest thing. Was we just wanted the players to feel our presence, right, and the confidence that we have in them, and be able to communicate face to face a little bit more.
Jim, play Graham today, he was clean, didn't get sacked. And when he did flush, he found some ways to make plays. He's one of your leaders, and he played like a leader.
For sure. I mean, you have to start with the O-line. They did a great job of keeping him clean. You know, he had a lot of time. Rhythm, right, was very good. And, you know, anytime Graham can get out of the pocket and extend plays and make great decisions should help build that confidence. And, you know, to get a huge touchdown by breaking the pocket and extending a play, I think that will go a long ways as this season goes on. But number one, protection. You know, he was comfortable, he was confident, and played with great rhythm and timing all day.
You mentioned the O-line. Are you at all surprised? You have to tweak it again, Bob, the O-line. I think that's 5 starting lineups in 6 games now. Are you at all surprised that they played as well as they did?
Yeah, obviously it's not ideal, right? But you got to do whatever it takes, and we're trying to get the best grouping out there and find roles that they can execute consistently. And today was the cleanest that group has played, and backs ran hard, right? Quarterback played well. Tight ends, right? They're in the mix a lot with both, whether it's the run game or the protections. Obviously used Logan as an extra tight end at times today. So just trying to find the best way to help the O-line, which ultimately is going to help the entire offense.
With the offensive line, was Tyler, was that his situation an injury thing, or was it something else?
Yeah, he got banged up last week. So very similar to Jordan, where limited in practice, you know, what's the best for the kid, what's the best for the team. Can you get through this one? Jumping ahead early was able to kind of help with some of the decision making on some of those guys that you knew were available, but probably on a very small pitch count.
You talked before about coming off the bus going into the game, but what was it like walking on the field, knowing that you've gotten through the week 1 game and the reception that you received going into the locker room?
It's just proud, you know, more than anything, just proud of my support system, right, which includes the family, which includes the players, coaches, staff, kind of everybody in this program. talk to the players. I feel very confident because of the confidence they're giving me and the response that the people around me are giving me. So, I mean, I feel all that, right? I feel all that. And that's the most exciting thing. You know, we're going to have bigger ones ahead. We're going to have more challenges, but I gain a lot of confidence from the people around me and just seeing the look in their eyes and the confidence they have in me, and just trying to feed back off of that and give it back to them.
You mentioned messaging a lot during the week, obviously, was needed. Is one of the things you're going to tell the guys, if you haven't already done it, is this is just one we cannot relax. Can't just get too excited.
Yeah, I mean, that's the very first thing that I told them. So proud of what we handled this week, dealing with the emotions, being able to focus and get a win, right? It's all about one at a time. Just get one win at a time. And obviously that's very cliche, but we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we know where we're at with our personnel and the injuries and what we have left, you know, remaining in this season. So we got to stay the course. You know, it worked this week. Hopefully that, you know, that trust, right, in the plan, trust in each other, being able to empty the tank on Saturdays and get back in there the next week knowing it might have to look different. I'm excited for that.
Jim, do you have any update on Cedric and Fiona?
First of all, Cedric is doing much better, right? They were very cautious, hit his head on the turf really hard. So not going to say exactly what happened. I don't have the answers on some of the injuries yet, but doing much better on the field and communicating in very good spirits at this point. And Keanu, same, got nicked up. I know it was a situation where it kind of went numb a little bit, thought maybe kind of hit a nerve, got a need a knee kind of situation. So think he's going to be okay, but don't necessarily know the diagnosis at this point.